What is going on, Florida State family? It's Clemson week. You know, we about to get it popping in here today. We're going to preview this Clemson game. We're going to, look at the keys to victory, man, and see what it is we got to do. Go into Death Valley and somehow pull off a win, if possible. But before we do that, there's a little discussion we need to have. It's going to be about some recent offers that FSU has dished out and how I feel about them. But we got that. We got the Clemson preview, man. We got so much more. You tuned in to episode 39 of The Hangover. So you already know what time it is. It's your boy POLK, man. Let go.
Need a horn and drum roll.
Never talk to the boys that sit on them benches. I never talk to the boys that sit on them benches. I was in the game for 4 inches.
All right, baby. Now it's time to go to work. What is going on, Florida State family? Seminole Nation and the 863 tribe. Here's your boy POLK, a.k.a. a.k.a. the goddamn truth. And welcome to another episode of The Hangover, man. How is everybody doing tonight? Good to see everybody in the chat. Somehow my pin message got deleted. Which one of my shooters decided to delete my own? I think that my own people deleting my own message. Tyler did it. Ain't that something? How's the video quality? Because it doesn't look too hot from what I'm seeing. Uh-oh. I'm lagging, yeah. I'm lagging. Shoot. Excuse me, guys. I see that I'm lagging, and I'm trying to... trying to fix it. Stay with me. What I might do here is leave and come back on. So stay with me. Hold on a second. Okay, I think we're better. Let me know. It looks better on my end. So I think we Gucci. All right, it's better, good now. All right. Wait a minute. Let's hope it stays that way. Because I'm starting to see the thing. What's going on today? Lagging again. I know. I don't know what's going on, man. Because it wasn't doing that earlier. Here's what I know what I'll do. Let's try to. Internet's been good all day, and all of a sudden, here we go. But I think I may have troubleshooted the problem. I think we're looking good now. I think we're looking good. Everything seems stable. Bear with me, guys. My bad. But anyway, man. Big game this weekend. Big game this weekend. But before we get started, as always, man, hit that comment section because we're about to hit a roll call here. We'll wait a little bit. I think the signal is messing people up. But yeah, we still got 17 in here. So again, like I tell you guys, when you come into the house, y'all know what to do, man. Ring the doorbell, wipe your feet off, and introduce yourself. And you don't have to donate a red cent. The best thing you can do is hit the like button and share the videos, man. Get the word out. Continue to grow this channel. We're over 1,300. So since the beginning, man, we're growing slowly but surely, man. So everything looks good on this end, guys. So I think we got a stable connection now. But yeah, share the video, put the links out, let people know we in here. And again, ring my doorbell, man. If at a minimum, ring my doorbell, introduce yourself, and that's hitting that like button. Let's do this. Quick roll call, real quick. Peter Shields, FSU, Tony, DF, Charmy, Tyler Hedden, the man who blocked or deleted me from myself. Ain't that something? Raul, John White, Jeff, Damian, Tay, what up with you? Todd Pope, John, I think it's that John. Actually, we got Jonathan Adams. All right. Florida State love, Corey Hall in the building, Todd Pope. All right, and that's all we got so far. So that's all we'll go with. Sorry for the delay of again. Connection was lagging out on me, or something was going on there. But let's we're gonna get into Clemson. Don't get me wrong. We're gonna get into Clemson, but I want to go over some recent offers that Florida State's made on the trail. These are obviously contingency plans, by the way. If you look at the offers that if you look at the guys that they're pursuing, and you look at the offers that they've given out recently, these are obviously guys who, if they miss on their big fish, these are contingency plans. But the reason I want to bring them up is I think, they're interesting, and I think this fan base is funny. And I see a lot of things, and I don't always comment on certain things, and sometimes I do. But you guys know me. I'm pretty down the middle. At least I tend to think I am, right? I criticize when criticism is deserved, and I give praise and compliments when they're deserved. So I always go at the negative fans, and justifiably so. But today I'm gonna reverse the roles here, and I'm gonna go after the Mike Norvell apologist, because I have a little bit of an issue. It's not a huge issue, and as always, I can always ultimately be wrong. But let me get to where I'm going. Three recent offers that were sent out by very low ranked prospects. However, I do think out of these three, there's one really good offer that I like, and a couple that I'm like, we'll see. Camden Brown out of St. Thomas Aquinas, 6'3", 190 pounds. He's a Pitt commit. He is a wide receiver. Nationally ranked in 600 and the 607th best player in the entire nation. That is Camden Brown, Pitt commit. Another recent offer that recently came down. Eddie Kelly out of Winter Garden, Florida, the Orlando area. Uncommitted, 6'4", 265 pounds. This guy is some sites have him listed as a tight end. I believe FSU is recruiting him as a defensive lineman, whether that's end or tackle. Not too sure there. But he's 1,268th ranked nationally. And then Aiden Vaughn is the most recent one. And this is the one that kind of irked my nerves here. But I'll explain why. It has nothing. Quick disclaimer. Whatever I say has nothing to do with any of these individual kids / young men. They all can be good in their own right and may very well be sleeper prospects. This has more to do with the fan base. But I'm going to get on it. Aiden Vaughn out of Walled Lake, Michigan. 6'4", 215-pound linebacker. Completely unranked. No stars, no number by. He's just an unknown commodity, but he is an Air Force commit. Now, I'm going to start with the offer that I actually like. The offer that I like out of this group, or the offer that I like the most, is Camden Brown out of St. Thomas. Obviously, he's a contingency plan in case you miss out on Coleman or Mortimer decides to go elsewhere, which I don't believe will happen. But I believe, that's your contingency plan. We have to add some talent to that wide receiver room. Anytime I get a South Florida kid at St. Thomas Aquinas, he's at a St. Thomas, by the way, 6'3". I watched his tape, by the way. He's every bit of 6'3". Quite frankly, he looks bigger than 6'3" when I see him on tape. But 6'3", 190. He's not a blazer. Doesn't have big top end speed. More of a strider. Doesn't look like he's moving very fast, but obviously he's a long kid, has length. But he's a jump ball specialist from what I've seen. Very good hands, very good at attacking the ball. I think his speed is what's holding him back in the rankings. He's not. I would borderline say he's slow. I would borderline say Camden Brown. You might want to add extra 20 pounds on him and make him a tight end, but that's too early to say that. Anything can happen once he gets in a high school weight program and nutrition program, and he can get faster. But as to what he stands right now, I think he's a slow prospect, man. But I think he has good attributes elsewhere. And I think he's the best offer. I actually think he's a very good offer. I like his side. I like size as in my receivers, and you don't have to be the biggest if I can just get you the ball. And I think Camden Brown's solid. Eddie Kelly is next for me. And I watch his tape, and his tape is solid as well. I think he's he's a solid offer. This is obviously, I think the only way they sign Eddie is if you miss out on Kelly and Marvin. If you miss out on Nigelique and Marvin, then you got to take something. I think Eddie Kelly's right there. You could add him to the defensive tackle rotation because you have two signed. Lyons is sort of like, I'm not saying he's decommitting, but I'm not saying there's talks either, but I've heard that, if FSU continues a downward trend, they're going to have to really fight to hold him. So you got Lyons, you've got Bishop. Adding Kelly to that mix could be fairly good. His tape is solid. He plays more of a stand-up defensive end type. In high school, he actually looks pretty decent at tight. He has decent ball skills, to be fair, on Eddie Kelly. And he's another Florida kid. And I would take those Florida kids any day of the week. Central Florida kid, plays tight end, decent ball skills, but they're recruiting him as a D lineman. And, he's solid. He gets to the quarterback. I think he lacks some physicalness. I think he lacks some explosion. I mean, there's a reason why he's ranked where he's ranked. But is he a guy that you throw 40 pounds on and move him to D tackle? And I think so. I think he's a good enough athlete at his size right now that I think the transition, would be solid. You guys kind of know how I feel about recruiting these undersized D tackles and adding weight on them. I'm not a big fan of it, but again, if you keep what you got, you keep Bishop and Lyons and add him as a third option, I'm not too mad at it. Here's the problem I have. And before I get to the problem, let me look at some of the let me look at some of these comments. No, not too many comments. Okay. Tay says you didn't know Norvell finds all the hidden gems. Well, we finna talk about it. Because here's the problem I have with Aiden Vaughn. And again, it's not even the kid. And granted, he hasn't even committed yet. So this is all just a mute point as far as this young man, whether or not he commits or not. He's currently committed to Air Force. I want to say this before I say everything else. His tape, if you actually go watch his tape is great. His tape reminds me of my favorite current recruit, Brian Courtney. His tape reminds me of Brian Courtney. And what I mean by that is he's the best athlete on the field in every game. Not a knock on him. It is a knock on the competition. I don't know much about Michigan football. Anybody that knows anything about Michigan football, please feel free to inform me on Michigan football because I have no idea about it. But when I watch his tape, this kid played kick returner, wide receiver, linebacker, running back, fullback, tight end. And I might even be missing a position or two because I didn't watch the whole full 9 minutes of his tape. Wasn't going to. I seen what I needed to see. At that level, with the kids he's playing against, yeah, he was the best athlete on the field. This isn't even really a diagnosis of his tape or his game. I have a problem with people saying, again, this is me. I get on the negative fans, so I'm gonna get on the overly positive fans right now. If you don't like it, oh well. I'm watching people say, "Oh, this kid is a sleeper. He's unranked, but they found him one. Dynamic player. His tape is amazing. He's gonna be a beat." And I'm saying to myself, now kids slip through the cracks all the time, but he's unranked for a reason. Go watch his competition. He's an okay offer. Very similar to Brian Courtney. Remember, we watched Brian Courtney's tape and we said, oh my God, this guy's dynamic. And then he got on campus at Florida State, and you know what? He just looked like another dude. Had a solid camp, made some solid catches, but did he look like what he looked like in high school? Of course not. When they get around D1 athletes, they look, the real them comes out, so to speak. So FSU fans telling me that this kid is amazing and slow your roll. Just slow your roll a little bit. Quite frankly, this is probably just I'm going on about something that's not even a big deal. But just slow your roll a little bit on Mr. Aiden Vaughn. We got bigger linebackers to pursue, and hopefully we land those. I hope it doesn't come to. I hope it doesn't come to where Aiden Vaughn is actually a take. When you have a chance at Tolan, Basaint, guys like that, Martin. Can we get one of those linebackers? And then if we want to take Vaughn at just as a filler, maybe he's a special team. I'm with that. But if you're trying to tell me that Marv can only recruit the Jordan Eubankses of the world and the Aiden Vaughns of the world, whew, yeah, we already know we got a problem there. Marv needs to go sooner rather than later. But anyway, man, that's all I wanted to talk about there. Let's get to why everybody kind of came in here anyway, right? Everybody came in here because we want to talk about Clemson. So that's what we're going to talk about. But I just wanted to get that out of my way because it was on my chest, man, and I wanted to talk about it. I felt the need to address it. Don't worry, man. We're going to get to the score predictions. We don't jump the gun. We're going to get there. I promise you. Anybody notice Cam McDonald's running style looks like Gronk? No, didn't pay attention to that. He's not as big as Gronk. We all want to believe every kid is amazing, but some are hits, others are misses. Well, there you go. And I get it. But every guy that's unranked isn't a take. Like, that's my issue. That's my issue. Like, it's not that you are trying to find gems. I love the fact that you're actually scouting and trying to find gems. Again, this has nothing to do with the kid. This has nothing to do with even the coaching staff. I'm not mad at the coaching staff for maybe trying to find a hidden gem somewhere. This is my gripe with the fan base. And they'll DM me or get in my mentions and be like, bro, have you seen this guy? This guy's great. And I'm like, why is he great? Why? Because we offered him a scholarship. He's great now. That's it. This is my gripe with the fans. Tyler says, who would you rather be? The guy who trashes every low-ranked offer or the guy who hypes it up? I just rather be me, man. I'd rather be neither. I just rather look at the tape and say, oh, I like this guy or I don't like that guy. Like, I kind of feel like I'd rather trash every low-ranked offer. I don't know. If I had to pick out of the two, maybe I'm the guy who would rather trash every low-ranked offer because I feel like the person who hypes up every offer is that's kind of delusion. Again, guys I'm not saying the ranking system is perfect. We know it's not, but check the numbers. 5 stars usually are 5 stars for a reason. You know, that's just me. 5 stars are usually 5 stars for a reason. You check the numbers, and those guys are usually fairly successful. There's a higher bust rate, obviously, because there's more of them on the lower rated prospects. But, you know, what about Ja'Carri's Peak? We didn't offer him. I know he was at the UMass game. I see a 2022 kid. Tyler prefers the positivity, and I feel you. No, but I think people look at stars too much. We don't always turn out. You can be the best high school, become a college, and stink it up. But it's the same way with no stars. I don't disagree with people who say the stars don't mean everything. But again, that's why you watch the tape. And again, when I say guys are unranked for a reason, look at who they're. It's not even about sometimes the player. Look at who they're playing. When you're 6'4", 215 pounds, and you're the biggest kid on the field, and you can play what linebacker is playing kick return, wide receiver? Like, I mean, that just speaks to the level of comp. Like, let's be realistic. You go to big time level competition. You go to Plantation, down American Heritage. You get down there. You don't see Marvin Jones Jr. playing wide receiver, tight end, defensive. You know why? Well, there's a reason why. And that guy's as talented as any guy in the nation. Everybody's not Hunter. Now we know who Travis Hunter is, but that's a whole different, story. Like, show me the elite guys that are playing 15 different positions on a football field. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So when I watch a guy, thank you, because when I watch a guy and I see he can go from linebacker to running back I'm saying, well, that's just the fact that he is obviously the best athlete on a field where there's not a lot of athletes. Stars matter in college, but when they get to the pros, not so much. The NFL will find you no matter. Now that is true. That is true. But again, look at how those stars also translate to the league. POLK, Norvell's looking for kids that want to be at FSU and be part of rebuild, unlike Ba, who decommits for Georgia because they're already built. Look, I'm not knocking Norvell trying to find sleepers. Believe me, I'm not. This has nothing to do with the kid. This is more so me talking to the fans. Stop thinking every time we offer a guy that it's a sleeper. There's a reason the guy's committed to Air Force. I'm just saying. There's a reason some of these kids are committed to or uncommitted. There's a reason Brian Courtney had no D1 offers when we offered him. That's all I'm saying. But I think we'll just have to agree to disagree on some of these young men. Doesn't mean I don't wish that Vaughn isn't great. If he ends up committing and he has a committable offer and they want to take him, doesn't mean that I don't hope he becomes great. I just, you know, you're going from Michigan to Florida. I don't know how that talent translate is what I'm saying. Let's do it, man. Enough on that. Again, we're gonna have to agree to disagree on these young prospects. Um, I love finding the gems, but I don't think everyone's a gem. I think that's where I lean towards. Um, Clemson, we're here. Clemson. I've said this last week. I think this is Mike Norvell's biggest game of his career because he's never coached at a school like he's coached at until now. I know he's coaching some bowl games at Memphis. I know he played Penn State in a bowl game. As a matter of fact, I think that was his last game at Memphis, wasn't it? So this is Mike's. I want to be clear. I want to be careful because I don't think this loss would break him. Like, I don't want to say this is a make or break game, but I do think this is a make game. He didn't coach the Memphis game. He didn't. I thought I could have sworn he coached that Memphis versus Penn State game. He didn't. Interesting. So that means his last game would have been the AAC championship game then. So fair enough. But anyway, again, I don't want to say that this is make or break because I don't think it can break him. Like, regardless of how Clemson look and regardless of how we look recently, I don't think we are expected. I mean, we're a 10-point dog. So we're not, and it's in a hostile environment, right? It's in Death Valley. We're a 10-point underdog. They're supposed to be superior in all these different facets. They should outcoach us, correct? I don't think this is a break game, meaning if he loses to Clemson that the season is done. Because I think even if we lose to Clemson, I'm looking at Boston College and NC State as Miami as very winnable games that we can still make a bowl game. Like, a bowl game is still in sight, even if we go 3-5. I honestly believe that. Now, the room for error is less, right? The room for error is less, but yeah, what I think is a make game. Like, he can make himself if he can go into Death Valley and win this game, despite Clemson's record and despite what's being said about him, because recruits are going to watch that game. You go 4-4 after starting 0-4, and now all you need is 2 more games to get that bowl. You don't think, like the recruits, this is a huge game for him. And in my opinion, this is the biggest game of his career. But how does Florida State stack up? I think that's the big question. One of the things that's really going in our favor is the injuries. Clemson is riddled by them. I was looking at their injuries for the year, and it's like they are riddled, and they have injuries at key positions that I think really play into our. It helps us out. Like, the recipe's there for us to go in there and get this win. Their O line is banged up. Their D line is banged up. That's where I thought they had the biggest advantage on us, was in the trenches, especially their D line versus our O line. And now I'm looking at this game, and I think they got Tyler Davis back, but he just came back the last game, and he only played a fraction of the snaps he usually plays. How effective is he going to be? I would almost argue our O-line might have an advantage on that D-line, which I didn't think at the beginning of the season I would be able to say that. I think our D-line definitely has an advantage over their O-line. Their O-line has probably been worse than our O-line. And our O-line has been fairly solid. So that's saying something. Their O-line might be the worst O-line we've played all year. I don't even think that's hyperbole. North Carolina probably has a better O-line than Clemson. Syracuse probably has a better O-line than Clemson. the recipe is there. I just my overall thoughts, and this may be key in on where I'm kind of leaning, and I'll give my predictions at the end. Because this game's tough for me. Like I want to come out here, and I honestly want to say we're gonna win it. But I'm getting nervous the closer we get, and one of the reasons I'm getting nervous is the delusion that I'm here. We're starting to sound pretty delusional. Some of the fan base is starting to like. I've seen people comment, "This we're gonna blow them out. This is gonna be 2013." I'm like, whoa, slow down. Yes, Clemson is not a good team, but we're not world beaters either. But I'm gonna give my predictions. But what I will say is, one of the biggest things, one of the biggest reservations I have in this game is, can our offense generate enough to let our defense rest? Right? And I think a lot of that's going to come down to, can our coaching staff adjust when the adjustments need? Can we dial up something offensively that Venables isn't suspecting? That's kind of where I'm leaning towards, and why I'm kind of like, ugh, I don't know if ultimately we can pull it off. I believe, because Clemson hasn't blown anybody out this year that's worth a damn in the ACC, right? So I don't think this. I think this is going to be at least a 7-point game, right? Can you make enough plays at the end of it to squeak out a victory? That's where I'm at. And I think a lot of that has to do with not. We're going to run the ball, but here's the thing. We're going to run the ball, but here's the thing. It's not just that we need to take shots. Can Kenny Dillingham, or whoever's calling the plays, Mike Norvell, Kenny, I'm pretty sure Kenny's still calling them. Can Kenny dial up something that they're not expecting? So it's not just that we take a shot, but do we take the shot at the right time, at the right moment? Can we catch them slipping? Defensively, obviously, you want to create turnovers, but I'm more so leaning on, we're going to have to exploit them through the air at one point or another. Like, we're going to have to hit a big pass. Because if I'm Clemson, if I'm Venables, Tyler, if I'm Clemson and I'm Venables, I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, there's no way I'm letting this team run for 300 yards. There's no way I'm letting this team let Corbin and Ward and Travis go for 100 yards apiece, which is, what we want to do. So I don't have any faith in their receivers. This is me. I'm speaking as Venables, by the way. I don't have any faith in their receivers. Their receivers have not shown me that they can really exploit the one-on-one matchups. The quarterback hasn't quite shown me that he can really get them, that he can throw them open. Like, he can get them the ball when they're open, but can he throw them open, right? On one-on-one situations, is Travis going to put the ball up and say, let the receiver go and get it? Not too sure I've seen that from them. So you know what that means. You know what that means. I got 8, 9 in the box, depending on what formation the offense is on. I got 8 or 9 in the box at all times if I'm Venables. I probably got a spy on Travis, and I got 8 and 9 in the box. And I'm saying, hey, if you're going to try to run it on us, then may the best man win. But I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you do what you do well. I'm going to make you do what you don't do well. And that's where I think we have to win the ball game at. And I know it's a little bit of a contradiction, because I'm one of the people that have said, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. But that was against lower competition. We're going to have to hit the deep ball here. We're going to have to be able to make passes to sustain drives. Can we block long enough, and can we get separation enough? Those are my big questions going into this game. I don't know how y'all feel. Yes, we do have to continue to run and establish that run. But if they don't, if Travis and Dillingham and if we can't give them a reason to at least respect the passing game, then I think we're gonna have a hard time scoring in this game. Not only are we gonna have a hard time scoring in this game, then it becomes, well, our defense is on the field too much. So as bad as DJ is, as inept as their offense has been, if our defense is gassed and Jermaine Johnson and Keir Thomas and these guys are tired that we're going to our 2 and maybe in some cases 3 deep, well, we don't have the same explosiveness on defense, especially on that defensive line. Once we start getting into the starters are too tired to sustain drives. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if we can't maintain something offensively and give them a reason to respect us offensively, yeah, our defense is going to be in there for the first and second quarters, maybe. But eventually, we're so tired that DJ is going to be running free. Those running backs are all of a sudden going to start finding holes. And all of a sudden, Clemson is looking better than they've looked at any time this season. We have to find a way to offensively sustain some drives and make some plays. That's the best. That's kind of my recipe. I know it's kind of basic, but that's really how I feel going into this game. I don't know what y'all think, but let's see what y'all saying in the comments. If you really want to reverse jinx, put a $100 parlay for Clemson and Miami to win. That's what I did. Polk, we're going to dial up Corbin and Ward. Yes, they're going to have to have stops, but in 4 quarters, they will wear down. Yeah, my problem is who wears down first then? Does our defense wear down too? We're definitely going to run the ball. I'm not saying go away from the run. I'm just saying you have to make passes. You're going to have to keep them honest. You're going to have to make the passes when you need to make them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Dominate time of possession, run the ball, make a couple big plays, and force DJ to throw. Those are the keys to the game. They go drop a safety down the box, have the tempo to keep them in base, play action, RPO is key. If ever running game is there, we'll get some play action. We'll get some plays and some big plays in the passing. Our passing is our strength. For right now, we have to lean on the run as much as possible. Nick, what's up? Nothing, man. We going over this Clemson game. In Venable's presser, he praised JT Legs. I mean, they all do. And praised the running backs. He didn't say anything about our wide receivers. That tells you all you need to know about his game plan. That leads to what I was saying, man. I would man-to-man. If I'm Venables, I'm lining man-to-man, and I'm daring them to beat us through the air. I like our chances if they go 8-man in the box. We can hit the deep balls. I think we'll be successful running the ball all game. You do? Okay. Now, I'll say this, right? Those are my reservations. But I will say this. If for some reason Clemson's lining up 8-9 in the box and they can't stop the run, and let's just say we run the ball like we ran against pretty much every team this year, Notre Dame included. Let's say we do what Syracuse did in the first half when they played Clemson, and they ran for 143 in the first. If we can do that, I would dare say we could. If we can run the ball like we did against North Carolina, I'll dare say that game will be very similar to North Carolina. This game will be very similar to the North Carolina game if we can establish the run and run it effectively, basically almost at will. Because not only will I say it'd be similar to North Carolina, I would argue that it'd be worse. Because at least North Carolina offensively, North Carolina has the better quarterback in Sam Howell. And I don't think Sam Howell's great, but he's better than DJ. I don't think there's any dispute there. And then they don't have a receiver like Downs at North Carolina either, which was like the one big throw they made early in the game there. So if we can actually establish a legit run, then all my reservations go out the window. But I got to believe it to see it, or see it to believe it. Yeah, see it to believe it. First play of the game is going to be I'm glad you said that, Zoe, because that's what I would do, depending on how they lined up. Because I'm pretty sure they expect us to come out and run the ball. And it's not very conventional to go off of play action without running the ball, but I would almost say play action first play game. Or at least a quick drop back and just give me Malik McClain out there, see if he's got a safety over. If not, hey, just send Malik on a go route and just see what happens. Because why not? Give Malik McClain a one-on-one opportunity at 6'5" and say, hey, let's get it. I would almost say that should be the first, just to show the defense that we're going to keep them honest here. And God forbid they complete that pass. Now the defense is going to be like, okay. So I actually agree with you. I would probably do the same thing. First play, take a deep shot, because why not? What up, Ahmad? I meant to say passing is not our strength. Play action is a strength. It's definitely running the ball, but we can't. We're in trouble. We have 3 headed monster at running back position. Run. Final score. If Clemson can score 31 on us, I think that's a problem. They haven't scored 20 on a. And I heard this, and I haven't actually looked. I heard they haven't scored like over 20 on any ACC opponent this year. It would be so Adam Fuller that they would somehow score 30 on us. But Clemson hasn't scored over 20 on any ACC opponent. Why us all of a sudden? So I hope it's not that score, Jalen. I hope we don't have to score 35 to win that game. I think we have gotten less predictable. A lot of the same looks on different plays. Score prediction. I don't know yet. I'll give you that in a minute. I saw what Syracuse did to this defense. I agree. Syracuse didn't do anything special, bro. They just lined, especially in that first half, they just lined up and ran the ball. And the quarterback was able to scramble a little bit, but he's not even a great thrower, and he was even able to hit some passes downfield. So I'm with you, Zoe. I watched that Syracuse game as well. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, Dino Babers, the coach of Syracuse, if you're not aware, he blew that game for his own team. Syracuse should have won that game. Can we overcome tackles for losses? We can't get behind the chains. That'd be tough too, getting behind the chains. I hope this, and I think in this 3-game stretch, the staff has sort of shown that they've been very good, or they've been good. I hope they don't come into this game overthinking it. I hope they don't come in this game, with obviously you got something to prove, right? Obviously you got something to prove, but I hope they don't come into this game trying to be cute. Like I said, like Zoe said, and I agree with Zoe, take a deep shot early, but let's not come out and then start reverting back to dropping back and trying to pass the ball all around. Like, just because you don't think Clemson expecting it, that we're just gonna, go away with what we've been successful with. That's what I hope they don't do. Do we finally get? I don't know. Our special teams have not looked good all year, so it's hard for me to see it. We won't know what works until we try it. Roll JT out of pocket on all passes. He's more efficient than sitting in the pocket. Got to generate turnovers, and I think we can get a pick or two. We should definitely be able to pick him off at least once. Why us? Fuller is why. Like I said, I hope we don't give up 30-something points to Clemson. That'd be ridiculous. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember what they were using over there at Syracuse. Clemson only won by 3. I know. Hell, they only beat, I think, BC. Barely beat BC. They barely beat, they haven't, even in their wins against ACC opponents. I think they had one FCS game this year. But in their ACC wins, they didn't blow nobody out. Nobody. And quite frankly, a lot of people think they should have lost to Boston College. Like, Clemson, again, they're extremely beatable. Don't get it twisted. I have my reservations, but this team is extremely beatable. Using the 2 tight ends could be helpful. They could go play action, open up the holes. Well, we definitely are using the tight ends a lot. What's up, Randy? Yeah, can't overcoach. That's another thing, though, right? If I have some reservations now, only because we overcoached ourselves against Jacksonville State. Like, so what are they going to do against Clemson, right? And I get that you looked at Jacksonville State as an easy win, but but to be fair, I think they learned their mistakes because they came into UMass and they said, "Yeah, we're not going to overthink this thing, man," and they just ran the ball down their throats, which is what we should have did against Jacksonville State. Hindsight is whatever, but can't overcoach it. Can't overcoach it. But you do, and that's where the fine line is drawn, Tyler. Because I agree, you can't overcoach yourself, and you can't go out there and trying to be fancy and overthink this thing. But you do have to add some wrinkles. We just can't go out there, in my opinion, and line up like we're playing UMass and just try to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. What did we throw? What did Travis only throw like 10 passes or something like that against UMass? And I get why. We're going to have to add wrinkles. You're going to have to add some type of wrinkles. You got to commit to the run, but at the same time, you got to do different things. And that's where coaches make their money, right? It's easy to do what works. Can you out scheme the next guy? First play, long pass downfield to Pookie. We know he's gonna catch it. Yeah, true. If he gets that separation, he'll catch those passes. That's shout out Island Boy. That's true. That's true. I can say this: the penalties are way down. That's a great thing. That is a great thing. Like okay. Jeff brought it up, so let's talk about it. That's been a great thing in this 3-game stretch. But do they revert back? Right? There's gonna be some tension and hostilities in this game. If you listen to Dabo's recent interviews, he's toned down. It's funny how he talks when his team sucks. When Dabo's team sucks, he tones down the disrespect. Go back to last year and some previous years when his team is real good, he doesn't care how he speaks about his opponent. This year, he's been very complimentary of Mike and what Florida State's doing, and he sounds like one of those guys who sounds like a bully. When a bully's up, they talk down, but when you check them, they don't have too much to say. To me, Dabo's sounding like a tamed bully right now. Like he don't have too much to say. He's been very complimentary. I don't fall for it. I think he's a clown. You know how I feel about him. Just go back to last year and listen to the way he talked about Tallahassee and this program. So that tells you all you need to know. I think he might be saying one. I will say this, though. I think he might be saying one thing publicly and saying something else privately. His team is going to come out there, and they might be chippy. This game could be chippy. Do we revert back to the penalties? It's in a hostile environment in Death Valley. Do we get too antsy along that offensive line? Do we get those false starts that we've been avoiding and those being in that atmosphere? This is going to be the toughest environment they've played in Mike Norvell's tenure. He's never played in Death Valley before. I expect Death Valley to be loaded, even though St. Clemson's not good. Florida State's coming to town. They're going to fill that stadium. Do the penalties rear their ugly head in a game like this? I hope not. I hope we've passed that, but it's going to be interesting to see. And from what I hear, DLT is healthy. Gibbons is the one that's questionable for this game. I don't think it's questionable. I think he'll play. I think they're playing the whole, you know how Mike plays the injury game. I think they're just playing that game. But Gibbons is the one that's going to be a game time decision. DLT is, for all intents and purposes, for what I hear or what we hear, is healthy. 24-7. That's a solid score. And that's more along the lines of what Clemson has been in games along that score, like 24-17 or 21-17, something like that. What's up, Duval? No trickery, please. Now we can't afford to run no trickery. Now, I again, that's why I say this is such a thin line. It's easy to say no trickery, but are we capable of seeing something in the defense? And especially on a team that expects us to run the ball, could a flea flicker work? A flea flicker might work in a situation like this, where teams are expecting you to load up and run it, and you try to hit a flea flicker real quick or something, something like that. It's possible. Like we say no trickery, and then if they run a trick play and it works, you're like, oh snap, great call, Mike, right? So that's why I say it's always a thin line. It's always a thin line. We should go blackout this game. I think the blackouts are for home games, so I don't see that. If you roll with him, if you roll him out, you cut off half the field. I agree with Corey. I don't. Yeah, because Travis isn't the type to go back, and you kind of don't want him looking back. So I agree with Corey there. You kind of rolling out might give him more time. Maybe if you can get separation deep. But if you roll them out, I think you tell them, hey, take a quick look. If it's not there, get some yards. So rolling them out can work for you. Like you said, but it could also cut off half of the field and maybe limit some options. We're going to have to throw on first down. Cam McDonald's the key. I like our match. Hopefully they can find a unique way to use Cam. You saw what Malik McClain did on crossing route. Now, crossing routes take a little bit longer to develop, which is why I kind of understand why we don't run them as much. But give Cam a chance to use his ability after the catch. Got to scheme up some guys. Got to stop telling me that we don't have the talent that gets open. Hey, scheme guys open, coach. That's what you paid to do. Scheme these kids open. Rub routes, quick slants, crossing routes, like scheme these kids open and get the balls in the playmakers' hands. Special team is weak this year. I would like to see Toa. Someone else said that. I don't know why they don't put Toa Philly back there, just to see, because the guys that they've had back there, I don't think any of us are a fan of. These 8 p.m. World Series start times are killing me. Shout out to the Braves. I know we've got a lot of Braves fans. I think Norvell and Ham know what they have with Travis at QB, and I think they throw something out there that Clemson will not be ready for. Okay, we'll see. Tell them again, Peter, hit the like. Corey Hall, I agree, but I just don't trust our O-line to hold up for him to sit in the pocket. Well, here's the thing. Don't ask him to do a 5-step drop back and scan the field. He don't have to roll out. Quick drop back. Hey, very simple. Go and watch what I know y'all don't like me bringing this team up, but I'm going to do it because I think they did right by Tyler Van Dyke. Go back to last week and watch what Miami did with Van Dyke against North NC State, against a defensive line that is considered very good. And everything was quick. Even the big shots that they took down the field with Van Dyke, I mean, he was doing a 2-step drop and then just throwing that thing. Like they had recognized the coverage. They knew they would have one-on-one on the outside. And there wasn't no deep drop backs. Man, it was just, quick passes, even when they took deep shots. You can do something like that with Travis. You don't have to ask him to drop back and scan the field. Let him know where he's going with before a snap and just throw the ball out there. Malik McClain is a true freshman, but we need him. I think you got to be a big part of the game. 15 total passes. There you go. And that's because we could establish the run. If we can't establish the run, then those pass totals got to go up, right? Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell everybody here. The doctors have cleared me to play next season. Good job. Good news. Good news. Yeah, talking about Dabo. One thing that goes unnoticed is we can actually snap the ball. As long as Maurice Smith is in there, we haven't had any ill-advised snaps, have we? Gibbons playing Saturday. I just don't want us to come in there soft. I don't think they're going to come in there soft. I'm not worried about them coming in there soft. I'm more worried about them coming in there too amped. Because you're playing a team that can't move the ball. But if you start giving them ridiculous penalties because of pass interferences or things like that, all of a sudden you turn a bad offense into a good offense, and here we are because you've let them stay on the field and get a rhythm. I'm more worried about them coming in amped and having miscues instead of them coming in soft. I haven't seen them play soft all year. Clemson has never faced Jordan Travis. They faced Blackman twice. Out of all the teams, Florida might actually be the toughest environment. Well, The Swamp is always a tough environment. 21-17 Knowles. I can see that score. I see more field goals in Clemson's game. I think if we can play like we played against UMass, well, I mean, if we could play like we played against UMass, we beating everybody, right? UMass isn't a great judge of how we need to play this game. I would more so say if we play like we play against North Carolina, who's the best team we've beat up to this time, and has comparable talent to Clemson, like if you look at the recruiting rankings, right? It's Clemson, North Carolina, I think Miami's third, and then we're fourth. Or you could either swap Miami and North Carolina. But the point is, talent level is comparable. North Carolina has recruited well these few years. They got some guys up front, some 4 stars. I think they might even have a 5-star or 2. So North Carolina's recruiting. That's the game that I would look to say, if we can play like that against North Carolina, I mean, if we can play like how we play against North Carolina against Clemson, that's the kind of the game I would try to mirror. UMass, again, you're not really taking anything from UMass. I heard Keyshawn, McLean, and Parchment had some nice grabs in practice. Yeah, hopefully. Who scores first? In a game like this, you could almost make the argument that whoever scores first wins in a game like this. Right? If I was Florida State, I would put the ball in DJ's hands first. I would see if he gives us one. Because I feel this game has been tough for me to pick because I really want to pick us to win, but I got a feeling. But I'll say this. I think if Florida State is to win this game, I think DJ is going to give you one. DJ is going to give you one because I don't think they're going to be able to block those. I don't think they're going to be able to block Keir Thomas or Jermaine Johnson. Now, the question is, do they let DJ just come out there and try to sling the ball? I got a feeling that they won't. I said that I think they're going to run DJ a lot, so we'll see. We'll see how they we'll see how they go about that, how they go about using them. But if they come out there and let DJ try to throw it, he might give us one. And if he gives us one, I think if we get a turnover, if we get a pick 6 like we did last week, I think we can win the game. I think we will win the game. If we can get more than one turnover, I think we will win the game. This is random, but do you think we could see all white alternates this season? The ones that with the hat, with the helmet. I was asking. Somebody told me that those actually aren't real helmets, that they were just used for recruiting. I thought coming into the season that those helmets were actually legit alternate helmets. So I don't know if those are legit alternate helmets yet, or if they were just, or if they're just using those for recruiting purposes. I would like to see it, but I think you got to do it at home because I would love. I think it would be a dope sight to see Dope Campbell with an all-white crowd, with a whiteout crowd and a whiteout on the field. Like I think that would be amazing. That would be an amazing visual. So I think if you ever do that, I think you should do that at home. You should do a whiteout at home. Even though the all whites are traditionally away uniforms, I think you should do it at home. We had more penalties in that North Carolina game than that UMass game. I mean, we played a tougher team. It's UMass. Like, Nick, come on, man. We can't really take what happened in UMass and make anything out of that. Only thing you can take out of UMass is we did what we were supposed to do. That's it. But we played a harder team in North Carolina. And we didn't give up. For instance, you didn't give up a sack in the North Carolina game. If you tell me we can get out of Clemson without a sack given up, I'll take my chances and say we win that game. Like that's the stuff I'm talking about. If you can mimic what you did against North Carolina, I think you can win this game. What's the spread? I think we're Clemson is -10, I think, or 11, somewhere around there. I'm like Mike Norvell is all about how we respond. What do we do if Clemson gets up by 10 with the home crowd? We'll respond like UNC or fold a tent. It's a good point there. I think Florida State, more hungry team, is the more hungry team. Want it more. I think they want it more. I think Clemson is beat up. You definitely win in the first game. This is a 50. I think so too, Island Boy. I think this is a 50-50 game because Clemson's down, but this Florida State team isn't. We're still not where we want to be. You win this game and you get closer, though. They're supposedly not being used this season. Okay. So they are an alternate helmet, but they're just not using them yet, which I think is fair. Or, I would say that's cool. I feel like you should have maybe brought them. If you're going to use them on a recruiting trail and let kids wear them, I think kids kind of want to see them live. But what game would you use them? Maybe Miami. I think Miami's the only big home game you get. Well, NC State is home, if we consider that a big game. But I think, Miami's the biggest home game you got left. DJ has been awful. He has no confidence. They can't block Coop, Lovett, Ray, or Jackson in the middle. And, of course, they can't block Jermaine and Thomas. I don't disagree with you. The team needs to be hungry and not scared to play football. I don't think they'll be scared. I think the team comes in confident. They can win, but not cocky. I don't think Norvell will let the players get the big head. The team needs the hungry and focused and not scared to play football. If FSU plays its best game, they'll win, and I think they were judging how the fans like them. You know me, I didn't like them at first. You know me, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to the helmet. But then when I saw the whole ensemble, I couldn't help but say, those are pretty. I thought those were very pretty. So, like I said, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to the helmets, but I think most of the fans like them, especially when you the white on whites. Like, that's the only way you can wear them. Like, you can't wear that white helmet with any other uniform combination. It's got to be completely iced out. As long as they're doing that, I'm cool with it. I'm not a big touch the helmet guy. I think FSU has one of, if not the most classic helmet in the history of the game. But I do like the all-white helmets with the all-white jerseys. So now let's look at where we may or may not have the edge. So quarterback. I actually think we have the edge at quarterback because I think our quarterback is more efficient than DJ. Like, I can't even say DJ's a better, like, that's what's crazy is I can't even say DJ's a better passer than Travis. Travis has been more efficient. He's been more accurate, especially now that they're using him the right way. I said we got the nod at quarterback because when I watched DJ, I watched him against Pitt. It was god awful. When I watched him against Syracuse, it was god awful. Those are really the only two games I watched because I really didn't pay attention to that Georgia game. DJ's just, he can make a good throw and then he'll miss a guy 10 yards in front of him by a mile. And you're like, what's going on? Like, I've seen DJ throw the ball in the dirt to a running back that's 5 yards in front of him. Against Pitt, he threw an interception on a freaking shovel pass. I say we got the nod on quarterback. One thing DJ has over Travis is his size. And you can say, well, size doesn't mean anything. And you're right, it doesn't. But if they run him how I think Clemson might attack us on the ground, and he might be the one to initiate that. You wear us down with DJ, and then you get the ball to guys like Shipley and some of those. Now, I think their leading rusher is out for the year. But they got a talented freshman back there in Shipley. You wear us down with DJ and then let Shipley get the ball. That could be a recipe for success for them. That's where DJ has a little bit of an advantage because while Travis is a better runner, Travis is a lot smaller. DJ is, again, whatever he is, 6'5", 250 pounds. He can take punishment and deliver punishment. Travis ain't delivering any punishment. And we've seen in his past, he doesn't take a lot of hits and shouldn't be taking a lot of hits. So I think that's where DJ has the nod. Running backs, obviously we have the edge there. We obviously have the edge in running backs. I think Clemson has the edge in receivers. I really do. I don't think Clemson has the same caliber of receivers that they've had in the past, but I would still would anybody not take their group over our group? Anybody? Probably not, right? Everybody's probably taking Clemson's group of receivers over our own. So let's just get that out the way. I don't know anything about Clemson's tight ends. but I'll just lump the tight ends in there with the receivers, and I would still probably take Clemson's receivers. O-line, I think, might be a wash. I think we might be even on the O-line. Dare I say, like, I definitely think we got a better run blocking O-line, but maybe they that one's a little bit harder, right? That one's a little bit harder for me to gauge, but I will call the O-line play even. Then when you go to defense, our D-line's better, period. One, their D-line is very, very banged up. Their D-line is banged up. Like, their best players are out. That's great for us. I would definitely take their linebackers over ours because you guys know how I feel about our linebackers. Outside of Deloach, I don't care for them whatsoever. So I would take their linebackers all day. And then secondary, I don't think Clemson secondary is anything to write home about. I don't know. I don't think Clemson secondary is anything you should worry about. I more so worry, does our secondary is our secondary going to be in position? I think if our guys are in position, I think we've seen that our guys can actually play. Brownlee can play. Jamie Robinson, I'm so glad he's back at safety. I was calling for it, and they did it, and I love the fact that he's back at safety. Knowles has been, again, I call Kevin Knowles the natural because that's what he is. He's just a natural football player. So I think our secondary play has taken a big boost. As long as we are in position, let's not get happy. Don't get our eyes caught in the backfield where we're letting receivers run past. Like, disciplined secondary play is going to be key. If they do that, I think we good. You see what y'all talking about in the comments. I see the chat jumping a little bit. If we beat Clemson, we have a good chance of winning out. I agree with now. I haven't said that yet, Jeff, but you kind of jumped the gun on me. But I agree with you. If we beat Clemson, and then depending on how we look doing it, you're gonna have a hard time convincing me we can't beat everybody left on that schedule, with the exception of Florida. Florida's still a tough game. I still think Florida's probably still the best, including Clemson. Florida's probably still the best team left on this schedule. So that Florida game's going to be like, but can you imagine going into that Florida game with a chance to win 8 games, like be 7-4, already have a bowl game tied up, and actually be playing for your 8th victory? Like, that would be big time. That game would be a whole lot bigger with that with the chance that, we're going in there at 7 wins. I don't know if we win out, but as far as ACC play goes, we might. And then that's not even talking about ACC championship. I mean, I don't want to. I'm trying to temper our expectations, so I don't want to get too ahead of it and sound too crazy. But but no, statistically, we're not out of it. If you can beat, that's why I say this game can make Mike Norvell. It doesn't break him because he still has opportunities to still make a bowl game after this game. But this game can make him in so many ways, not only with recruiting, but now all of a sudden you're 4-4. 4-4 with beating Clemson at Clemson, and now you're trying to tell me you're not going to be probably favored in an NC State. You're definitely going to be favored probably against Miami and Boston College. And NC State is right there. You saw how they looked against Miami. NC State is they're no world beaters. And we got them at home. We got Miami at home. Legitimately, and Wake Forest still has to play, I believe, North Carolina, Clemson, and a few other teams. Like, we could still win the Atlantic if Wake was to drop a few games down the stretch. That's why I said this win can make Mike Norvell. It can really make him. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying what could happen. I'm more worried about wideouts not getting separation and dropping balls. We got the edge at every position on offense except maybe 1 or 2 receivers. These Clemson fans up here at work think we're going to beat them. They depressed. Well, you can understand why. When you're here, and the reality brings you back to where you used to be. The fans, we tend to get either super high or super low. So I understand why Clemson fans think that. I'm too excited for this game. DJ looks to me like he's almost afraid to run, and he's not really good at it, or what I've seen. But you're right; they do have better receivers, but you got to actually get the ball to them. What scares me is Shipley in that passing game against our linebackers. Clemson's linebackers are better, and their receivers are better. Clemson's dormant wide receivers. Deloach can cover Shipley. I think that's a tall task to ask for Deloach. That might be your best matchup, but I think that's a tall task. DJ has that look you have when you're a freshman in college and you're like, holy shit. Yeah, I feel, yeah. He looks, I agree. He looks overwhelmed at times. Clemson ain't ready. I don't even think the Loach can cover him. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. I think that's a tall task. Jermaine hit DJ a few times. He's going to rattle. Our linebackers get it together this game and play a good game. I think they will hold it down. Okay, serve. You know, I don't believe that. But again, what do you mean by get it together? Let's talk about linebackers for a minute. If it was me, how I would attack this team with our backers is, obviously, I want to use Deloach against their tight end, like whoever they're trying to split out the backfield or tight ends. I don't think Deloach. I think that's a tall task to ask Deloach to cover Shipley, but you got to do it. Someone has to do it. So Deloach, you're tasked with that. You're the most agile backer we've have. I would strictly use Lundy as a spy, and a lot of people are saying DJ. I've watched him. He doesn't seem to like to run the ball. He can't run the ball. I get it. I would, first of all, I don't like, me. I don't like DJ in space. But if I can tell DJ just to key on DJ versus DJ, if I can tell Lundy to key on the other DJ and say, look, wherever this guy goes, for one, it keeps him at a pass protection. And if he's not going to run, I just send DJ on a blitz, and then we're forcing him out the pocket. Maybe he can create some turnovers there. Or if he does decide to run, 250 versus 250. I mean, that's a train versus a big rig or whatever. Hey, I'll take my chances there. Why doesn't Travis J start anymore? Well, they haven't needed him to. I think they have a good secondary going. And nothing ever happened to y'all. Y'all ask me about Corey Wren every episode, bro. Ain't nothing happened with Corey Wren. Corey Wren is Corey Wren. Like, what have we ever seen from Corey Wren to say he should be doing anything? And I'm not coming at you, Ferg. I'm just saying. But as far as Travis J goes, he gets solid rotation, but maybe he's not ready to start. And quite frankly, I like what we have now in the secondary from what I've seen the last couple games. I like the cohesion. I like that those secondary guys seem to be on the same page. Jermaine's coming for DJ. These things are unlikely, but not impossible. I think we struggled with UF and that Miami game. I agree with you, though. That Miami game is going to be a lot tougher than Florida State fans want to admit. Miami's going to be key to play that game. If no other game this season, they're going to be keen to play that one. I do think that Miami game will be a tough game. I think we have to win that game, though. I think we have to win that game. UF's going to be a tough win. We got to beat one of these rivals. I think Miami, we got to beat that one. What would break? Nothing in this game, unless you went out. Unless you went out there and gave up 50 to this Clemson team to get embarrassed, like go out there and lose by 35 points or something crazy like that, that might break them because there's no excuse for that. No excuse for that. But outside of something like that, I don't think losing this game would break them. I'd almost, again, I think winning it can make him. And to be fair, if Jacksonville State didn't break them, then I don't know what will break them. So I don't know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But what if Florida beats Georgia and somehow we beat Florida? Recruits will be knocking doors down to get into FSU. I actually think Florida's going to play Georgia very tough. They always seem to. So we'll see how that game plays out. Not struggling against Miami. Miami struggled against themselves. NC State's a one-off. I'm not even. I don't even care about the NC State game. That's not why I'm saying we're going to struggle against Miami. I just believe that Miami game is going to be tough. It has nothing to do with what I saw in NC State. I agree with you. NC State beat themselves. And NC State has so many drops. If that number 88, I think it was, catches one of those passes, NC State wins that game. But it didn't happen. So. But I'm not judging anything off the NC State game. I just think that Miami game is going to be a tough game because it's Miami. And they are going to be up. If Manny Diaz doesn't have that team up for any other game, he will have that team up to come into Tallahassee and play that game. You can believe that. You can believe that. If we get DJ Shook early, our chances are better. I'm saying what would break him this season? Oh, well, hell, like I said, if Jacksonville break him this season would be to lose. If he was to lose all these other games, meaning you won, put it like this, his wins would be against UMass, Syracuse, and the North Carolina team with Mac Brown, who's never beaten FSU in 14 tries or 14 years, whatever it was. Those would be your only 3 wins. Losing to a bad Miami team, to a bad Clemson team, to a bad Boston College, like to lose out would destroy him. Any credibility he had would lose. But again, other than that, like personally, after starting 0-4, and I know again people might not want to hear stuff like this. If he manages to win 5 games, I think people would look at that as a success. After starting 0-4, there are people that before the season thought that he would only win 5 games this season. A lot of FSU media before the season didn't really see a lot of wins this year. Now, it got a lot worse after starting 0-4. You're like, oh, my God, we might not win a game. But I think if he wins 5 games, I know we're feeling pretty good off of a 3-game winning streak. But if he just managed to win 5 games, I don't think that would break him. Like, if Jacksonville State didn't break him and he was able to ride that storm out, mainly because we don't have really any other choice but to let him ride the storm out. But I just don't see, other than him losing out the rest of the way, I don't think anything would break him. Unless something crazy happened on like the recruiting trail where he would. Now, that would happen if you lost out. That's why I said it would break him. If you lose out, then the class is going to spiral out of control. And yeah, that's when you break. But other than that, I don't know. What do you think? Because I don't know. I don't think anything would break them. We have to beat Miami so I can clown T2Y. Obviously losing out would break them. And Polk, will we have to play almost flawless and catch some breaks that I'm not sure will happen with Clemson being home? Yeah, I feel you there. Like the refs, again, turnovers. Got to find a way to generate a turnover or 2. I think if we can get multiple turnovers this game, we are setting ourselves up in a good position to win. If we can generate a defensive touchdown, that goes a long way. Because I don't think this is a high-scoring game. I don't think this is a high-scoring game at all. I think you're talking about in the 20s at the most. In the 20s at the most. So I don't think this is a high-scoring game. And if you can add a defensive touchdown, I think if either team can put a defensive touchdown on the board, I think that team probably wins the game. What road wins has Miami had? I don't think they've had any. They've only beaten. Yeah, they don't have any. That's irrelevant though. Like y'all acting like we don't watch this rivalry every year. That who they've beaten and what the records are, that junk's irrelevant, man. They gonna come to play that game. What's up, DF? If those boosters want them gone, they would get them gone. It's a whole double standard. The AD said that he brought here to win championships. We cannot lose the turnover battle. and Clemson is playing worse than us. I agree that in recent weeks, Clemson isn't playing great. Yeah, so I agree with that. Deerfield says, yeah, don't matter when both teams square up. Yeah, I think that Miami game is going to be tough. I know y'all want to sit here and clown Miami, and we should clown them. You should clown the Hurricanes, please do, because they started the season ranked 14, brought back 19 of 22 starters. Bubba Bolden was supposed to be a first round safety. Now he ain't even playing no more. They saying it's an injury. I'm gonna just tell you my feelings is I think they pushing them to the side. I don't think it has anything to do with an injury, but that's just my opinion. But Miami came in with all this preseason hype. And, we see where we are right now. So by all means, clown them. All I'm saying is all that stuff goes out the window when them two line up on the field, though. Miami's going to come to play that game. Are you going to guarantee I'm not. I'm not going to guarantee this game is a win. I think it's going to be a tough game. I'm not guaranteeing a win at all. Dabo is overrated. Well, I've always said that. I think Clemson defense will throw the towel in if they start getting scored on. Their morale is too low. Every game from this point on is a tough game. If FSU fans are so delusional to expect a blowout in any game in the future, then I don't know what to say. If we get a turnover for a touchdown, we can score enough points on defense and offense. That's what I'm saying. If we can get a turnover, if we can get a defensive touchdown, some defensive scores or a score defensively, I think we win the game. Miami fans said that's what I'm saying. The preseason hype for Miami was typical Miami delusion. But they had a lot of reasons to think they were going to have a successful year, to be fair to them. 11-1 was probably ridiculous. But then again, I remember looking at their schedule preseason and saying, damn, they don't play anybody. We didn't know Michigan State was going to be as good as they ended up being. Other than Bama, though, you looked at that schedule and you said they got these teams at home, and you thought that this is at least a 9-win team at the worst. They got the same record as us, and we started 0-4. So let that sink in. I'm nervous about this game. Like I got something big at stake. Yeah, I'm anxious. I'm ready to watch it. I'm ready to see, did they just catch lightning in a bottle, or have they really turned a corner? Because I believe if they've really turned a corner, then we're good going forward. I don't know how many games we ended up winning by the end of the season, but if they really have turned the corner, like even in a loss, we can be. We should be able to tell if this team has really turned the corner or not. So that's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. I want to see how they play. Win or lose, I want to see. Obviously, if we win, this is a tomahawk sticker game. This is a helmet sticker game. I'll say that right now. We win that game, it's a helmet sticker game. And depending on how we win it, you could get multiple stickers on the helmet Saturday night, depending on how they win it, if they can win it. But just getting a win was at least going to get them a helmet sticker. But even in the loss, you won't get a sticker because I'm firm on not rewarding losing. So I will not. But even in the loss, I think if it's a close competitive game and it just so happens we come out short, very like Notre Dame, we can take something from it. Miami's defense is still bad. Can't tackle. NC State beat themselves at the end. Receivers kept dropping balls. No, I agree. But they're going to come to that game and play. DC should have watched the 2013 game. Use the sum of the defensive scheme against Clemson and apply it against them. Yeah. See, this. I don't know. I think we just got to play with what we got. EMG. I'm just let's not act like this is 2013. This is what I was kind of referring to earlier. Let's not act like this is 2013. I'm not saying you're saying it's 2013, but there's nothing you can take from that 2013 game and try to apply it here. We're not as talented as that group, and so on and so forth. Let's play to what we got. Let's use our front four to get pressure and go from there. So let's not do. This is what I was talking about earlier when I kept hearing guys talking about 2013. Let's not do that. I understand this Clemson team's vulnerable, but 2013. Let's keep that. Let's keep that. that was then. This is now. We're not doing that. We just got to play good football. Let's just put it like that. I have no expectations. I've upped my percentages from 20. I've actually upped my percent. So I said 40. I thought it was a 40% chance we could beat Clemson. That was before they lost to Pitt. And before we put 50, because I didn't think, again, I'm not taking anything from the UMass game, but I didn't think we'd beat them 59-3. I thought it'd be like 41. I thought we'd at least give up a touchdown. I thought, 41. But after they lost, we won. I think this game is 50-50. I think this game is a 50-50 toss-up. Or 55-45. Something like that. Like I think it's 48-52. Like I think it's damn near a 50-50 toss-up. I would still probably give that home field advantage to Clemson, to be fair. So quite not 50-50, but close. If it was in Tallahassee, I'd probably pick us to win it. The fact that it's in Clemson, Zoe thinks that North Carolina game showed them that they turned the corner. Okay, we'll see. If we win or lose in a close game and play, we'll turn the corner either way. That's a decent point. Like you can even turn the corner in a loss. That's a fair point. As long as you don't let that loss, because I'm pretty sure this team's going to go in there confident. If you can't get away with the win, do you let it demoralize you? I hope not. Don't worry about FSU defense. Oh my God. I missed you, DF, and your ridiculousness. I missed you. Polk, we've been in every game we lost, even the weight game. We had a lot of that's true. We had like 6 turnovers in that weight game. Yeah, but 2023 different beat. Absolutely. I'm just hoping for a good game because this is not a good team, but we are better. I agree with Tyler. We're not a good team, guys. At least not yet. But they've gotten better every week. Can you take that next step to getting better? If all of a sudden you're 4-4, I would dare say that you are a decent team. Maybe not a good team yet, but are we on the way to being a decent team? Definitely can use, Put a smile on your face. If we beat Clemson in a defensive dogfight, then I'll consider that to be one of the best games we've played. Gotta put a hat on DJ. 55-45. I don't know what a dangbay's talking about. What are the betting lines for this game? Not sure. I know Clemson's -10 or something like that. 10.5 or something like that. I'll say it again. We can do Clemson, Pope. At least it ain't a night game in Death Valley. Yeah, so it's a 3:30 game. So that is something, right? It's not a night game. And the over-under got to be like 45. NC State held Clemson to 14. Let's think about that. No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what this is. I don't know if they're. I think Dangbei's saying he believes 55-45 percentages in Florida State's favor, I guess. Like, I hope that's not a score prediction because hell no. But no, I agree with you, DF. Like, that their offense has been putrid. But I've watched Florida State for the last few years. And we would be the team where DJ all of a sudden threw for 300 yards and 4. Like, I'm just saying, we would be the team that all of a sudden DJ did that. Go back to your Notre Dame quarterback and what he did against us week 1. I don't think he's had a performance like that since. Malik Cunningham at Louisville, look what he did. We would be the team, is all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I am saying it would not shock me if I'm sitting on this couch or in this seat facing this TV or downstairs, wherever I decide to watch the game Saturday. It would not shock me if I'm watching DJ pick us apart and saying, well, that's how Florida State does the opposing QBs nowadays. Every opposing QB looks like damn Joe Montana or John Elway against us. Like, it wouldn't shock me. It pissed me off, but it wouldn't shock me. Yeah, after going back and looking at it, I figured that's what you meant. I was like, there's no way he's predicting 40, that kind of score. I was like, he must talk about the percentage. They're going to do everything to make Travis throw the ball, as they should. As they should. Clemson is so it was at like 10. So it's dropped even a little bit more. Okay, over under 45. Okay, 47.5. Clemson's -9. Not -10, 9.5. So yeah, hasn't dropped anything substantial. A lot of people were surprised that it was actually that far. I think that has something to do with the home field advantage. It's true. Noles know how to disappoint. I'm trying to tell you. Wouldn't shock me. I see a blowout. Anybody agree with Charmy here? I'm not calling you delusional, man, but whoa. You think we're going to put up 31? Let's play the game. Let's play it. 31-10. Florida State wins game 31-10 against Clemson in Death Valley. What do y'all think that does for Mike, this program, and recruiting going forward? Please answer in the comments. I'm interested in this. I'm just playing the game. I don't think anyone thinks that that's going to be the real score, but let's hypotheticals, right? Let's say it happens. Let's say we go in there and win by 21 points. What does that do for us? You don't have 1 million. She was jumped, didn't it? I read somewhere that if you would have put $1,000 on Shiva like a month ago, you'd have like 600 mil or something crazy. I'd take the nose on that. I like our chances on Clemson beating us by less than 10. I agree. This team has been through so much adversity, and 0-4 start out the year. I don't see them laying down at Clemson. I agree. That's why I said I don't think they're going to come in and play soft. If they were going to play soft, look, after 0-4, they would have tossed in the time ago, and they haven't. I'm willing to bet. I read that one already. You don't have 50 million, nothing. Earlier today, I watched some FSU highlights from 2017. And we have more average QBs. We have made more average QBs look like high. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Go back and watch Florida State over the years. We've made QBs have gotten drafted off of playing Florida State. Hell, y'all thought Jeff Sims was the next Lamar Jackson off of Florida State. Only to find out that he's just a decent college quarterback. Has good games, has bad games. All the decommits return. It would be big time, but I don't think anybody sees that happening. Will you drink whiskey if we win? I mean, yeah. I got Jameson right here. If we beat Clemson, I'm not going to do anything stupid like drink the rest of this bottle because I won't make it through the live stream. I'll take 2 shots of Jameson on live if we beat Clemson. Hey, there you go. He asked me if I drink whiskey. Whiskey's right there. The only way I can see it being a blowout is if Clemson this go through the motions that are not really, in the game. Like there are 3 or 4 turnovers, but not likely. To beat Clemson by 3 TDs and to hold them to 10 points makes a lot of guys reevaluate just how real that FSU offer is to them. Could make some kids it would have to. It would have to. I think that you beat Clemson by 3 touchdowns and kids are saying, well, hold up, the gap's not. It's one thing to beat them in a down year by 3 points, and you can just say, well, Clemson had a down year. It's another thing that even in a down year, when Florida State started 0-4 to beat them by 3 touchdowns, you say, well, wait a minute, the gap isn't that. The gap's not that big. But we're all just talking because that 3 touchdown thing ain't happening. Jack Cohen, first game of the year. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That was the Notre Dame dude, right? Hennessy and tequila only. Got to do a shot for how many TDs we score. Okay, I'll do that. This will be the game for me to do that because I don't know how many we really score. But that's only if we win. So y'all can screenshot that or clip this part of the video just to save it for the records. If we win, I will take a shot for every touchdown we score. So again, clip that part of the video, screenshot, whatever, however you do it. I haven't still given a score prediction, but I'll do it now. We're an hour and 30 into it. By the way, hit that like button. Let me check these likes out real quick. 49 people, 43 likes. Okay, I say the like to viewer ratio is decent. I still feel like there's a few of y'all who watching that ain't hit that like button. So if you ain't hit that like button and you watching, hey, what I always tell you, come to my house, ring my doorbell, introduce yourself, wipe your feet off, all that good stuff. Hit my like button. But let's do it. If we beat Clemson 31-10, Marv has to come. I think Marv gonna be here regardless, unless we lose out. But I hear you, Ahmad. Score prediction. I'm thinking along the lines 21-17, something like that. But I ultimately, guys, I do think Clemson wins this game. That might not be what we want to hear, but I'm only giving my honest opinion. I think we're in there. I think we battle. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. I think this is going to be, exciting game to watch. Won't quite be the Notre Dame up and down thing, but I think for ugly football, this could be an ugly game to watch, but exciting, right? For ugly football, this is going to be an exciting game to watch, but ultimately, I think the home field advantage plays a little bit of a. It's going to play a little bit. It's going to have the home field advantage is going to be a factor. I do think, whether that's a late bad penalty on our part or something. I think Clemson squeaks by. I think Clemson squeaks by though. But that does not mean I think that the rest of the season won't be a success, because we might barely lose this game. I don't know if we're ready to beat a team like Clemson. I will say that this would be the year to do it. That doesn't mean that I don't think you still can't go and beat the Miamis and the Boston Colleges and the NC States. Especially 2 of those games I just mentioned are at home. And that's a big deal. If this game was at home, I would pick us. I would pick us if this game was at home. I think the refs, and I'm not blaming the refs, I never do, but it wouldn't shock me if we just got a bad call or something like that. I just think some foolery is going to play a part, and we're going to be sitting here like they took that from us. So I say 30. Oh, no, what? I said 30. No, Charmy, stop it. 21-17, Clemson. If we beat Clemson, we're getting an instant commitment from Manning. Manning who? 21-17, Clemson reverse jinx. Okay, so our Davies got the opposite of me. Mayan King's got 31-20. We're going to score 31 on Clemson. Okay. 24-13 Clemson. Anthony, I respect it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to crush you. I can only give you my honest opinion, man. I can only give you my honest opinion. DJ only has thrown 4 T passes and only has thrown for over 30 yards. I hear you, Travis. I'm with you. And this could be the game that he does it. I don't expect it to be, but it wouldn't shock me if he did. Ultimately, though, I just think, I don't know. If let me tell you something, Fuller really want to shut me up. Do what all these other teams have done against Clemson and lock them down. But I don't even know if defense is going to be the reason for this game. I don't know if we can just score enough, but we'll see. Do you think Norvell can take us back to being a top 20? I think top 20 is easy. Top 20 is just an infusion of talent. Yeah, top 20 I think is not an issue going forward. Just hold on to the talent. Think this game will have somewhat of a similar score like the 2015 matchup against Clemson. What was the score in that one? Because I don't remember. I don't know who's going to score what, but I do feel this is going to be a slugging. I agree, Aaron. I don't know who he's talking about. Arch Manning ain't coming here. I don't know where you're getting that from. Top 20 every year is not the FSU standard, more like top 10. Top 10 is more where we need to be. I agree with DJ Ferg. Top 20 is easy. It should be easy. 24-17 FSU, 28-20 Clemson. Okay, I can see that score too, Tyler. 27-17 FSU, 24-20 Clemson. Who's Chelsea? Who the hell is that? But either way, man, I think we're in for a good game. And I'm glad that after 0-4, I know we were like, oh my God, Clemson's gonna put 70 on. Like I'm happy that we just are going to this game actually feeling like we got a chance. And it's more than just a chance, but it's a realistic shot at beating a team that we should. Should beat isn't the word, but beating a team that we should be able to play with blow for blow. Jeff with the $5, no comment, but as always, Jeff, I love you and appreciate you.
My name is Jeff.
Are you going to lie every time, every game? If there's one thing you can count on, brain tick, is that's a post game show and a halftime evaluation, so to speak. 4-2. How crazy would that be? So yeah, I said 21-17. I see a lot of y'all are kind of in the same. Most people believe, it's going to be in the 20 ballpark, which is, got 23-13, 24-20, 27, 28-20. The only score I saw that I was like was that 31-10. I don't know. 31-10 and 31-20 for me is kind of shout out to Mayan King and Charmy. Like you guys think highly of our offense to score 31-31 against the best defense probably the best defense we've seen all year. Shout out to you guys because I don't see that one. What up, DJ? What's good with you, man? My prediction is 28-20. Okay, 1 point win. I'm with that. That'll give me a heart attack. Let's put it like this. If they score over 21 points, let me be clear, too, about 31-10 happens. Folks gonna be lit. Let me be clear. Hold on. Let me be clear, too, about this little bet we made. I'm not taking shots on field goals. I'm taking shots on touchdowns. Or let me say, you know what? I'll change that. For every 7 points, or I'll say every 6. For every 6 points, I'll take a shot. So, no, I should just stick to touchdowns. Hold on, let me rethink this because I'm looking at 31-10. I would only take 4 shots there, which is still too damn much. 27-17, I would only take 3 shots there. So I'll go touchdowns. That's the best I can do. For every touchdown, I'm not taking shots off of field goals. Not doing that. That's ridiculous. Hey.
My toy's gone.
Okay, get it.
My toys.
Chances of us winning out. You beat Clemson and your chances skyrocket. Again, you beat Clemson and you have a hard time convincing me that you're not favored in damn near every game that's not Florida. But you have to beat Clemson. You don't beat Clemson, obviously you don't win out. But even let's say you talking about after the Clemson game, chances of us winning out. If you lose the Clemson, that's an uphill battle. You just don't know how that loss is gonna affect the team because I do think this team is going to come into this game pumped. I think this team is going to go into Death Valley Saturday ready to put all that effort in and then lose it. I don't know how that affects, but to put all the effort in and win it, I think your confidence is going at an all-time high there. So I don't know. I think your chances skyrocket if you can beat Clemson. If not, it's uphill climb, but you can still somehow manage to get to 6 wins. 5 is probably more likely. If you beat Clemson, you might get 6 or 7. I put our chances of winning out at 10. I just want to win. With the win, Clemson, I say 30. Okay, so you think it goes up 20% with the win? Clemson offense is awful. Agreed. That's why I went with my score. Yeah, but you're assuming that our offense has been, hasn't been great by any, I don't know, man. I think you're assuming our offense is going to all of a sudden be able to move the ball efficiently on teams not named UMass. Clemson definitely is still pretty solid. If we can't run the ball efficiently and they force Travis to pass all night, we won't fare well. But we get that running game rolling. Could be interesting. FSU going in Death Valley confident. I think so. That Florida win is tough. I agree. I think that Florida win is really tough. Especially if they let AR-15 get the start. And then DF says Clemson 11, FSU 32. No. But that's your prediction. That's your prediction. But that's all we got today, guys. I think we went over to the game pretty much in depth. I mean, we went over position by positions. What we do well, what we do bad. I think we covered this. So I think we did a good job here tonight of letting people know what they could possibly expect coming this Saturday. I think this is obviously a tough game, but I think this might be Mike's biggest opportunity, should I say, or hardest opportunity, biggest game of his tenure, biggest game of maybe his coaching career, because he's never coached at a place like this. And I know he's coached bowl games, but even so, he's never been to Death Valley, and he's never coached at a program like Florida State before until now. And this win, this game sets him up, man. This game could potentially set him up for the future. Tyler asks, who has a breakout game? I don't need a breakout game. I mean, I guess a breakout game would be a luxury, right? I just need the guys I need Jermaine to do Jermaine things. I need Kier to do Kier Thomas things. Travis to do Travis things, whether that's with his legs or whatever. Um, or let me say Travis to do Travis things that he's done recently. Let me rephrase that. My running backs to do what they've been doing. Um, breakout game to tough. I mean, I saw you said McLean would be great because if McLean has 2 TDs, then yeah, I think we win the game. But yeah, that other than McLean, I don't see too many breakout games. I just need the guys who have picked up their play or who have been playing well all year to just do what they've been doing. You know, that's what I need. Brownlee continue to be consistent. Jerry and Jones, let's not get beat deep and give up any pass interference calls. Things like that. Breakout game, man. Let's just play football. I don't know. It's hard for me to pick a breakout player in this one. Zone says he's going to spy on Clemson's pods to see what they think. They're probably very down in the dumps, so I can only imagine the stuff that they're saying. DF, you're dreaming. DF always saying crazy stuff, Wanda. Travis will have a TD with his legs. Jordan Travis better have a breakout game, reading and making throws. Call me crazy, but I think it's going to be Ward that has a crazy good game. I like Ward's running style against the defense, so I can understand why you say that. So I don't think you're crazy at all. Ward with his vision might be the back. You know what I mean? Everything just needs to come together. Play physical, focus, unrelenting game. We need everybody to do their job. That's kind of where I'm leading with it. Like, just let my guys do their jobs, and I think I think we're in there. I know Dabo doesn't want to see us. He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to lose to us. I know he has his team focus on us because we didn't play them last year. We have to be ready for the game. 24-21. Go Noles. All right, Big Bus. I appreciate that. And I don't disagree with anything you just said there. Defense needs to step up and get takeaways. If we get a takeaway for a TD, I think we win the game. I feel we get something big on special teams. I can't see it. I would love to see it, but there's nothing that they've shown on special teams against inferior competition to this point that makes me believe that all of a sudden we'll put something together on special teams. They haven't played good special teams all year. I understand what y'all are saying, and I know that that's kind of things we want to see. The fact that you haven't played good special teams against the UMasses in the series, like you haven't played good special teams all year. It's hard for me to see that all of a sudden you start playing good special teams. I think the running backs will struggle to get in their end zone, but we'll have the big chunk runs. If they buy Ward in, they should move Toafili to receiver. I like Toafili where he's at. He's just playing behind 2 really good running backs. If Gainer has a big game, we win. That guy needs an NFL type of game. Well, let's see it, Amari. Let's see it. What are you doing?
Wait, Chico's toys that I found in my room.
Just ignore yourself and get out. POLK, as soon as you said you was getting ready to, as soon as I was getting ready to end this thing, everybody started asking questions. You know how that go. But I am about to get out of here now. 2 hours strong, so. And I'll see you guys Saturday. Who knows? Might do something Friday. I think I probably actually will do something Friday, so look out for that. But if that's all we got tonight, then yeah, that's all we got. Again, I think we went pretty in depth with everything. Pretty in depth. This is the last call for alcohol. So if anybody got any last comments, questions, whatever you have, you're gonna have 15 seconds starting now. Last call for alcohol. Good night, Damien, man. Appreciate you showing up. Old logo, always. All right, Nick, I appreciate that. Have a good night, Island Boy. Says Go Knowles beat Clemson. Favorite Pop-Tart flavor. You actually missed the 15 seconds. But I'll answer it. It's the strawberry ones. Strawberry frosted ones or whatever. Yeah. That's my favorite one. Just call me old, boring, and classic, but that's what I like. Duval says, I don't know. That man hasn't posted a video in like 6 months, and I don't know. Someone said he was having another baby, that maybe that was the reason why, but I don't want to speculate because I don't know. I don't know. Pop-Tarts are soft in the middle. I'll let you know if you're ready to jump off the cliff in Death Valley. Cinnamon for me. All right. Shout out to you guys, man. I'm about to cut it off here. As always, stay classy, Seminoles. And this year, I've been telling y'all, keep your head up, stay classy. But this is your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Clemson Hate Week. Let's beat them. I know I didn't pick us to win, but that don't mean we can't have faith. I might not have picked us to win, but I'm going in there Saturday with every hope that we get it done. Hey, go Noles, guys, and we at you.